I think he'll catch more passes out of the backfield in the NFL than he did at Wisconsin. And yards after contact, that's his forte. The only thing he's got to improve on, taking care of the football. Put it on the ground way too often at Wisconsin. If he learns to hang on to it, he could be one of the surprises in the NFL.
Shows his strength at the 50. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A huge play that time for the Colts. 62 yards.
Goal at the 4-yard line.
First and goal from just inside the 5. They'll run here with Taylor. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up second and goal. And just a yard to go here on second down. They'll look to run with Taylor. And he takes it in for a Colts score. Jonathan Taylor, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Colts are going to take a first-quarter lead. They'll going for 2. They'll kick the point after. And this is good to make it 7-0 Indy.
Makes the score Colts 7, Bengals nothing. Rigoberto Sanchez to kick off.
Sanchez now, he'll kick it away following the touchdown. And they'll watch this one fall in the end zone, and that'll be a touchback.
25-yard line.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. A first carry here for Joe Mixon. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
No gain on the play.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. He'll find his running back, Joe Mixon. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
A 3-yard gain on the play.
We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
So on 4th down, on comes the left-footed punter, Kevin Huber, to punt it away. This is fielded at the 27. It'll be a 39-yard punt, 4 on the return. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10.
At their own 31-yard line.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. It means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 37-yard line.
From the gun, Rivers. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Mackenzie Alexander with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon, intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. Looking for Green, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Rocky Sin. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
Gain of a yard. Brings up 3rd down and 2.
Rivers is going to fake the give to Taylor and set up to throw it. And he's got his man. It's Hilton for the Colts touchdown. T.Y. Hilton, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Colts, they add on to their advantage. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever. There it results in a touchdown. Sanchez now, he'll kick it away following the touchdown. And they will watch this one land in the end zone. That'll be a touchback.
25-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown. So decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan? Or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
25-yard line.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. And that'll be incomplete. Burrow took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
They've given him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big 3rd down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
Punting now is Huber as he sends it away. Fielded at the 33. 39 yards on the punt, give him just 1 yard on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. To throw is Rivers. Complete to Hilton. And able to rip chip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Rivers going to give this one to Taylor. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That burst good for 20 and a 1st down. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the 1st quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, not get loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
He was looking for Michael Pittman that time, but it'll be 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Rivers. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Von Bell. And a short return to the 6-yard line.
Intercepted by...
But that's the kind of interception that can save a game right there. They're already down 2 scores. Huge play, slowing down what was going against them.
I was thinking the same thing. You get down 3 scores there at this stage, could be in for a long ball game. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he's up past the 10 to about the 12.
Joe Mixon, the ball
5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
It's a gain of 5.
If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
Bengals.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And he'll be out of bounds right around the 20. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys in plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, we talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. That's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore. One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Their own 47-yard line.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
Naeem Hines, his first carry. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down.
46-yard line.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there. Third and short yardage, Rivers. And he'll find Pittman. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
24-yard line.
The first down throw here for Rivers. Looking for the end zone. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. So very close to a turnover there in the end zone.
Incomplete.
Well, interceptions have been a problem in this one. If he could have gotten his feet down here, it would have been another.
Would have been a huge one. They've had a great game taking the ball away. Thought they had another one, just unable to get those cleats in bounds.
That's complete to Hines out of the backfield. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 13-yard line. 11 yards there, first down. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Rivers. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Logan Wilson in there to drop him, and that will go in the books as the first sack. Congratulations, young man. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
12 yards on the play. It's now
on 3rd down. Here's Taylor. And he's able to get this down to the 5-yard line before he's out of bounds. A good pickup there, 7 yards, but it brings up 4th down. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Rodrigo Blankenship for the Colts field goal. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. They'll come out in the pistol. Well, the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. So that'll back him up 5. Rodrigo Blankenship for the Colts field goal.
A 27-yard attempt.
Blankenship's kick is good. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
The Bengals take over 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach you'll have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. On 3rd and 1, Burrow. He's got his man here. It's Green. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Well, forget the run on 3rd and 1. They shock the D and rip off a pretty big play. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. To the air again, Burrow. He's going to air it out deep for Green. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Rock Ya-Sin. Second interception for him now here in this first half. And you got to think he's a rookie, Charles. How much does confidence start to become a factor?
I think that's a great question because that's what they're going to check on when he gets to the sidelines. The coach is going to check on, his teammates are going to check on it, because when you haven't done it before, it's not something that's part of you. You got to see how you're going to react. Let's see how he bounces back.
Yeah, because 2 interceptions for him in college and a half. I mean, that just didn't happen. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Throwing, Rivers. They'll find Paris Campbell. That's complete. The 40. Past the 20. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Paris Campbell, 81 yards. And the Colts add on to their lead.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 19 yards there on the pickup. And it's going to yield a new set of downs.
19 yards.
So we hit halftime here in Indianapolis with the Colts on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, the Bucs set to get the football first, and they trail here as we get started in the second half. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further.
The Bengals take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now it's Burrow. And now Burrow going to be intercepted yet again. Picked off by Darius Leonard, the linebacker. Certainly not what he was hoping for, Charles. That's now 3 interceptions in this ball game.
But there's a lot of knowledge to be gleaned every time you throw an interception if you do things the right way. And Hasn't there been a pretty darn good quarterback along the way who threw a lot of interceptions early, learned from them, and became great later?
Who would that be?
That'd be one Peyton Manning, threw 28 his rookie year. That's it.
And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. And that was Carlos Dunlap who got in to take him down.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Working out of the gun, Rivers. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep two eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting two hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. He's able to chew up 8 yards on the carry there, but still fourth down upcoming. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. And this will be down by a member of the kicking team just outside of the 30-yard line.
At their own 33-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at that.
And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Mixon, his fifth touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals are able to draw a bit closer.
Well, I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They had done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
Randy Bullock to kick off for Cincinnati.
Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. And this one will not be handled. It's into the end zone for a touchback.
25-yard line.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10. A carry by Taylor to start the drive. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
Taylor, the ball carrier.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
And they'll work from the 29 on 2nd and 6. They go to the ground again with Taylor. And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively.
180, round 80. Big stop, G. Big stop. Let's go. 955, 955. Record.
Rivers from the gun on 3rd down. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Sean Williams. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
1st and 10.
So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I've got this. But he is in a major...
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD.
Touchdown.
Joe Mixon, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Bengals use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Now Burrow escaping the pressure right. And this is going to be caught, so they do get it. And the 2 points, now they're back down to a 1-score deficit.
16.
Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown.
Nyheim Hines on the return. The Colts take over 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. Pretty important third-quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line.
Ball carrier.
A gain of 3, second down.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. Well, let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains. That means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5.
Brings up 3rd and 5.
From the shotgun, it's Rivers. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players than football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going, and they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They have to make.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in for
Cincinnati.
Joe Mixon with his 3rd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Bengals are a 2-point conversion away from tying this football game.
The 2-point
And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. Throws right side. And he's got it.
24.
So they went ahead and went for 2 to tie the game, and it works out.
Randy Bullock to kick off for Cincinnati.
Nothing separating these two sides. 24 all our score as he sends this one away. On the return, it's Nyheim Hines. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
The Colts take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And their lead has evaporated in this 3rd quarter. It's tied once more as they begin with a 1st and 10. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a 1st down.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3.
A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8 at the 50-yard line.
On 2nd down now, it's Hines.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Brings up 3rd and 7.
On 3rd down, Rivers. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
Rivers is going to stay out there. They're going to try for this thing on 4th down. Operating from the gun, Rivers. And my goodness, this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And this defense will take over right near midfield at the 49-yard line. Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. They begin with a run by Mixon, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. DeForest Buckner using that size to force his way in there and make the stop behind the line. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. The catch and run, good for 24 yards. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Back now in Indianapolis. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Now Burrow on 1st down. That's caught by his tight end, Uzomah. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
And the Bengals on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the 1st. 8 yards there. 1st down, Cincinnati. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much through the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Yeah, not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, they want to ride him down the stretch. He should have fresh legs.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. They're going to go jet sweep here. This is Ross with it. Showed off the toughness, but still corralled shy of the 5 at the 6. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Brings up 2nd and 2.
Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, 2 for 5 to this point. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. Now it's Burrow. Flush to his right. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
Tie game, 4th quarter, and they're going for this thing on 4th down. They run for it with Mixon, and he will have the 1st down before he's brought down at the 3. They only get a hard-fought yard, but that's all they needed. It pays off the decision to go for it, 1st and goal. A field goal could get him the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal. And he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. John Ross with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Bengals have taken the lead. And they will take a 7-point lead now.
Makes the score Bengals 31, Colts 24. Randy Bullock to kick off for Cincinnati.
Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. And now they'll look to answer working from behind. And remember, this offense has sputtered yet to score here in the second half. They'll need to change that here. Carlos Dunlap, the defensive end, the one to bring him down. The ball resting on the 20. Here's 2nd and 6. They run once more with Taylor. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
It's 3rd down and 6.
From the gun, Rivers looking deep for Hilton. He's got a man complete. T.Y. Hilton, nobody to beat. Touchdown, Indianapolis. T.Y. Hilton, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Colts are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Rodrigo Blankenship on for the PAT. And no sweat, he puts it through, and we are tied here in the 4th.
31-31. Rigoberto sends.
So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. Taken about 7 yards deep. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17.
Take over 1st and 10. At their own 17-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this 4th quarter to try to grab that lead back. The drive will commence with a run by Mixon. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 15-yard line.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Well, you just kind of feel for him right now. 4 interceptions, and you can almost see through his face mask. There's a lot going on in between the ears.
There certainly is, and probably way too much, because now he's probably doubting himself a little bit, wondering what adjustments he has to make. But here's what he needs to do. Get through this game. Go to the press conference, meet it head on, and show your teammates you're ready to shoulder what happened today, and you'll be ready for the next game.
And if he can do that as a rookie, that's a great sign of maturity. That catch good for only a couple.
Pickup. It's 2nd and 8 at the 30.
8 yards to go on 2nd down. Operating from the gun, Rivers Eluding the pressure right. He'll get this one to Pittman. And he will get enough for a first down, and that will lead us to the 2-minute warning. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Partner, you've got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here.
Hey, 79!
On 2nd down, it's Hines. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
He was brought down by Trey.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
Now Rivers. Rivers looking a little nimble there as he picks up a first down.
How many times do we hear that 3rd down may be the most important down in football, and there's no better example than what we just saw right there. Forced to scramble, knows where the first down marker is, dives for it, and gets it. What a big-time play, putting his body on the line to pick up a key first down.
First and 10, Taylor now. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal.
I know that on draft day, Jonathan Taylor was disappointed he didn't go in the 1st round, but when he heard his name called in the 2nd round by the Indianapolis Colts, he had to be jumping up and down with excitement because of their big, strong, physical offensive line. And you put that with his downhill running style, and you've got a perfect combination, the perfect storm for a young guy coming into the league. 225 pounds, sub 4.4 at the combine. He's going to get plenty of opportunities.
And he's in for the touchdown. And in the final seconds, forget overtime. They just likely won this thing in regulation.
And that score in this time frame, that's like a big reveal at the end of a great movie, isn't it? Out of nowhere, almost, it appears. They get it done. How about that score?
The finishes like this is why we love sports. This is why we love the game of football.
So glad that we got to be here to watch this one.
And this will not be fielded. It's a touchback and comes out to the 25. The Bengals drive about to get going. They have time here, partner, for just one final heave.
And I have to look at it from the defense's perspective here. We know what they're going to do on offense. The Hail Mary, try and get guys down there and throw it in the end zone, tip it around and catch it.
And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick.
Today's final score.
Well, we were on hand for a fun and entertaining game here. Coming down really to that last play. Great job defensively to get the pick and seal it.
And we know that every play during a game matters.